Okay, so the story we're going to read today is called The Snowy Day. It is written and illustrated by Ezra Jack Keats. If you see the symbol right here, can anybody guess what that symbol represents? If you look closely, it says the Scott medal. Means this book won an award. Okay. Can anybody take this off real quick? Can anybody tell me what they think this book would be about just by looking at the cover of it? Okay, I like it. Anybody else? Okay. Well, that is called what? We are taking guesses on what we think the story is based on the clues that the cover gives us. This is the cover. This is the back cover, right? Okay. Now, before we begin reading this book, there are going to be some vocabulary words that you may not know, and that's okay. One that you're going to see is heat. What do you think just by hearing the word heat? What do you think that means? Okay. I like it. Okay. What about melted? What do you think melted means? Okay. Okay. Packed. What do you think packed means? Then lastly, crunched. What do you think crunched means? Okay. Well, I'm hearing some good answers. So let's see how much better we can answer those questions at the end of the book when we've read it. Okay? The Snowy Day. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. So what did he see when he looked at the window? Snow. Good job. Keep that in your mind. That may be important. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Okay, so piled up. What does that mean? Tall. Good job. I like it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointed out like this. All right. So, crunch. That was what we just talked about. Okay, it crunched under his feet. So, what do you think about Play-Doh? When you have a ball of Play-Doh and you smash it, that's like crunching, right? You're crushing it. Okay? So, what do you think about that? It's like the snow is crunching under his feet. All right. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks, and he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. It was a stick that was just right from smacking a snow-covered tree. So what did he do with that stick? He smacked the tree with it. Good job. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight. But he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and he made angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up a great big tall heaping mountain of snow. Okay, who knows what pretend means? I like it. Fake. I like it. Okay, so heaping, if he climbed up a great big tall heaping mountain, what do you think heaping means? Large. Big. Like it. A big pile. Okay, I like it. And slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and another. He packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. Okay, so he packed it. What does that mean? I want you to also think about Play-Doh. When you have Play-Doh and you're making a ball, you're packing it tight, right, to make a ball. So he packed that snow tight, okay? But he put the snow in his pocket, exactly. And he went into his warm house. Can anybody foresee what's going to happen? You think it's going to melt? Okay. You think it's going to be messy? Okay. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. Uh-oh, why are they wet? And he thought and thought and thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked in his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there. He felt sad. How did he feel? Sad. While he slept, he dreamt that the sun had melted all the snow away. Melted. What does melted mean? A solid becomes a liquid. Okay? So if I had a piece of ice in my hand, if I go over to the freezer, and I get a piece of ice out, it's solid, right? It's an actual piece of ice. But if I held it in my hand right here, if I gave it 3 to 10 minutes, what would happen? It would melt. So it would go from a solid to a liquid. And that's what the snow did. It went from a solid to a liquid. But when he woke up, his dream was gone and the snow was still everywhere. New snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friends from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. The end. So that also contained a good little science lesson that you can't go outside and grab snow and put it in your pocket and go inside because it's cold outside, so the snow stays. But you take it into warm and it melts. Okay. So, now that we've read the story, I want us to go over some questions. I've got them printed out here. Okay. What did Peter see out his window when he woke up? Snow. Good job. What happened when Peter put the snowball in his pocket? It melted. How did Peter feel at the end of the story? He was sad, but he went out and played again, didn't he? What did Peter do with the stick he found in the snow? Okay. How did Peter walk through the snow? On his what? Now, I hope you're listening because I'm going to go over a few more things and then you're going to take that. I just gave you questions and answers to your quiz. Okay? So I hope you were listening. Okay. Now, that was just me going over the questions because I know it can be kind of hard. Okay, then you're going to have a word bank. You're going to be given snowball, track, stick, pocket, and snow. It's a word bank. Okay? And you're going to fill it in. Peter woke up and saw blank covering everything. He went outside and made blank in the snow. Peter found a blank and used it to draw in the snow. Later, Peter found a blank and used it to hit a tree. My bad. later he put a blank in his blank to save it. Okay. And then you'll go over your vocabulary, which was crunched, heaped, melted, and packed. And you also read these questions and fill in the blank. And these are the questions I just went over, and we kind of talked about the answers. So it should be just you answering questions that show that you understood the story. If you have a question or don't know a word, please raise your hand and I will come to you, okay?